Hello, friends. Has curiosity gotten the better of you, leaving you wondering what could possibly be out there among the stars or what's lurking in our backyards? Has the enigma of the supernatural intrigued you, consumed your every living thought, or the attraction of the uncanny leaving you questioning all that you have been taught? Well, we can't give you any answers, but what we can give you are tall tales.
Tune into the Tall Tale Happy Hour on all your major streaming services with new episodes weekly. Give the demons in your walls some quality content to listen to while they steal your thoughts. And remember, 100% of the time, it's probably aliens. Or just poor research.
Seriously Sinister discusses true petty crimes that may be disturbing to some.
Or could be easy listening to all of you psychopaths out there.
Names and places have been changed to protect the hosts legally.
Listener discretion is not advised. Seriously Sinister.
Welcome to Seriously Sinister, the cool backstory you gave your scars because you don't want to admit that you like cooking bacon in the nude. This is Trevin.
That one delighted me. And I am Amanda. May the 4th be with you, Trevin.
And also with you.
We were just talking about how this is going to come out on May the 4th, and you said that you're kind of a Star Wars kind of guy, right?
I am a Star Wars kind of guy, and I thought about this. I think it caught my eye a couple days ago. I was like, oh, this episode's going to be May the 4th. I need to make an intro line that's Star Wars. And then I completely let the idea slip away until right before we recorded. So,
well, the bacon one was so good.
Thank you. I felt really good about the bacon one, so fuck it.
So, do you have any dreadful dilemmas this week?
Girl, I've got a dreadful dilemma, and it was just a couple days ago.
Tell me more, tell me more.
Does it really suck? So I said a while back I wasn't going to do an animal dilemma for 5 weeks. It may be a big fan out there has counted. I don't know. But I'm going to say that my dreadful dilemma is animal adjacent.
Okay.
But it's not my main complaint here.
Okay.
So on Wednesday night, I was getting ready for bed. I had been a bit sleep deprived this week and staying up a little too late. And so we let Mabel out before bed, as we normally do. And I was already getting to bed later than I wanted to, but really looking forward to getting a little extra sleep. Well, I noticed that Mabel was digging around at we have a burn pit outside. Not that we ever burn, but I just have a bunch of sticks there.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, she's on to something. And I didn't pay much attention to it. Went around, did my thing, brushed my teeth. Then I went to go check on Mabel again, and I heard something going, ree, 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 and Mabel had caught something.
Oh, snap. Innocent little Mabel?
Yeah. And so I went in and was like, hey, Emily, guess what? Mabel's killing something. And she's like, oh, well, why don't you go do something about it? I'm like, because this is nature. I mean, our dog, it's her job to patrol that yard, you know?
Right.
We know about her barking. She's always watching for intruders. So I get out there, finally get close enough with my shitty cell phone spotlight to be able to see. And I figure out that she was killing a baby bunny.
Oh, God.
And I was like, shit. Because I had seen some little mice around here in the grass and stuff. So I thought, she's killing a mouse. Who cares?
Right.
And like the second it hit me, I was like, damn it. A bunny.
Yeah.
I should have came out earlier. Well, then Emily came out and picked the baby bunny up and was just like, there, little bunny. And she was petting it. And
so it was alive?
It was still alive at the time.
Oh, no.
So we brought the bunny in, and Emily was trying to give it water and stuff, but it was already done. It was doing its slowly dying thing. If anybody who knows or has seen a rabbit die, they kind of slowly twitch out and open their mouth and close it a bunch until they just kind of pass away.
Trevin.
But Mabel was so proud of herself. She was so happy. And Emily was very upset.
Yeah.
But see, I have seen rabbits die. I grew up on a farm, and I could tell you so many different animals. We saved a baby deer once. It died. I've had baby cows die. I've had baby ducks, cats.
Don't ever tell me a baby cow story ever
I won't.
like that.
But to me, this is very normal.
Right.
I've seen it happen all the time. I've become attached to wild animals that were cool as babies, and then they just die, and it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little insensitive to that because she doesn't have the experience that I have.
Right.
So we were like looking at it, trying to give it some water. And I kind of looked at it and was like, I'm pretty sure it's dying. I'm not even sure it's not dead now, even though it's still moving. I think it's kind of twitching.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much was like, I want to go to bed.
Oh,
Because it's like,
Trevin.
we're getting close to midnight now.
Oh my God. You bastard.
Well, I wasn't being like totally mean about it.
I'd like to go to bed now.
But I wasn't really mean about it. But I was like, okay, I'm going to take Mabel to bed. Every time I'd look at her, she'd just kind of give a really exaggerated, like sad frown, like, it's sad. And then she came to bed, and then she started crying. And she was just like, it's just really upsetting as the bunny died. And she was upset. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then my way of making her feel better was like, this won't be the last time. I said, Mabel watches our yard very carefully. She will kill again.
Oh my God.
And now I think a lot of this is, one, a little insensitive because I don't understand the situation because I, like I said, have so much experience with this. And two, I was tired. So she kind of like slaps me and pushes me away and says, you're bad at this. And then just like turns her back to me. And here I am thinking like, what the hell? I'm not wrong.
Oh my God, Trevin, you cold ice queen.
I don't mean to be so cold.
Oh my God.
Then she's like, you could have done more. And I'm like, what? She's like, you were lollygagging to get out there to check on it. I'm like, come on. Hindsight, people. It's like, I thought it was a mouse. If she would have like raised a red flag that said, killing a bunny over here, I would have been like, I'm out there.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like a mouse or something, or a possum or a raccoon or something. I don't care.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those situations where it's like, okay, it's very unfair that you think I should have known the future, but also I was probably pretty insensitive to it. But it is interesting because our families live like 1.5 miles apart, but she just didn't live on a farm and I did.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of different life experience. Like you can be almost the exact same place, but have such a different experience.
Yeah. I would definitely been more on the crying about the bunny side.
Yeah, I mean, I was sad too.
I'm not saying, I know I'm giving you a lot of shit, but you're not a bad person, Trevin. But yeah, I just think that life experiences for different people make them feel different ways.
Yeah.
But damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, my cat has been killing birds and lizards and all sorts of crazy things. Our dogs don't kill anything, though. I'm actually shocked because Shelties and Collies are fairly similar, but maybe Shelties are a little bit more huntery. I don't know.
She's just very protective of her perimeter.
Okay.
So if there's a bird in that perimeter, I'm going to bark you till you leave or until you want to put yourself in my mouth. I don't know. And same thing with squirrels. So, and the same thing with bunnies, but it's always been adults and she doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, yeah.
But this was just a baby that was scared and in the sticks.
Well, God damn it, Trevin. Way to bring us all down. Oh my God. Well, I have a dreadful dilemma too. It doesn't have to do with baby bunnies, but it does have to do with small humans.
Oh.
So my house is located at the exact spot that our elementary school district's bus stops at.
Okay.
A few people might be like, oh, that's awesome. Like when Lila is going to school, it's just walk right outside and there's the bus.
Yeah, convenience.
But I don't even know if she'll ride the bus because I don't know. Every time I rode the bus, when I would like go spend the night at someone's house, there was like so many shenanigans and bad kids on the bus that I'm like, maybe I should just drive her. And then also B, this is my main issue. It is a living hell for us right now that the bus stop is right in front of our house because all the kids gather in our driveway, which we only have a one-car garage, which are old Volkswagen buses in. And so all of our cars are just like in the driveway, and the kids are like running around my vehicle and like kicking at each other and throwing things at each other and hitting each other. Also, I let my animals out in the morning, and the other day, Arlo was out there and he got in the front yard, and luckily Jordan was home because I wouldn't have seen it. He was looking out the front window at these punk kids running around our car, and one of them had picked up a piece of chalk that was left out from Lila and was chucking it at our cat.
Oh, that ain't cool.
I know. And so Jordan went out there and was like, hey, stop terrorizing my cat. And so I'm really glad he went out there and did that. But yeah, I guess I'm looking for some guidance from listeners or from you even, because like I said, they're kicking, they're throwing, they're doing all these things. When it's fall time, we made like a big leaf pile for Lila that she wanted to jump in every day. And when we had that, they would just totally just ruin our leaf pile. They'd run through it. They'd throw it at each other. Same thing with like snow piles or snowmen and everything. They just treat our yard and our driveway like it's theirs. And one of the kids even took up a piece of chalk and like tried to write a "your mom" joke on our sidewalk.
Was it at least a good one?
No, I think I didn't even get the joke, but it said something like "Hi, Stan, your mom" or something stupid.
Oh God, yeah, that's like middle school
Yeah.
stuff.
So what the hell am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Middle school kids like that are so disrespectful and don't care about other people's things, and because your house is the like waiting spot for school, it's almost like you are an extension of school, even though you're not.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, oh, well, I wouldn't care doing this at school or tearing up this thing at school, so I'll tear up this thing too. I don't know. I almost feel like you'd need one of those Karen signs that's like, don't stand here or something. I don't know, but not that the kids are going to follow the rules.
I know. And there's only 2 parents that actually wait with their kids, and their kids are really good and nice, and they're really nice to me too. But there's also some little shitheads out there. I don't know. I feel like maybe one morning I just need to be like, hey, listen here, you little fuckers.
Really scare them.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't call them fuckers. I don't know. I feel like here pretty soon I'm going to be that crazy lady with signs all over my yard because I need a sign for the kids to be like, get out of my personal space. And then also people speed all up and down our road, and I want to be like, slow down, you douche. I don't think there's a sign that says that that's like a professional. I think it says like slow children playing, and then it gets all confusing, like, are the kids slow? You want me to go slow?
I've always thought that too.
Yeah, so like I need some signs, but I just don't know what to do. And
hey, there's a such thing called Etsy. You can get any sign you want. Slow down, you douche.
That's true. Oh my God. But my vent is over, but that's what we've been dealing with.
I have one suggestion.
Okay.
Get a sprinkler.
Ooh.
And just plug it in right at the end of your driveway. Turn it on around school time. No kid's gonna stand in it, and if they want to fuck with it, then you can really be like, don't touch my shit.
Yeah, that's
I like
true.
to water this specific spot at this specific time.
That's true. And they're not going to get wet before going to school.
No, I mean, these kids worry about how they look.
Yeah, they do. They
So,
do.
There's an idea.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
And then record it and see how that goes so we can use it for the show.
Okay. Will do.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, well, we're going to do some trivia today. Whoa, Trevin. We do not have the rights to say that.
Let's have a fun time.
Oh, God, am I excited for the trivia I have for you today.
I hope I win.
I don't know if you will, but I'll try to have faith in you.
I heard the subject was something that I don't like, but I don't know what it is.
So, I will tell you. For trivia today, Trevin, I am combining 2 of my favorite things. True crime and reality TV.
I figured it'd be reality TV. If this is the ultimatum, I'm out of here.
No.
Okay.
No.
Emily's been watching that and it sounds awful.
No, God. I know. I haven't watched that yet, but wow. No, it is actually specifically surrounding the Real Housewives franchise.
Ugh, okay.
Have you watched any of the Real Housewives shows? Do you know anything about any of them?
No.
Okay. So this will be hard for you, but just use your best judgment. You might be able to figure it out.
Okay.
We have 4 options today.
Okay.
Which of the following Real Housewives scandals is not true? And let me tell you, Trevin, I had a lot of them to choose from.
They're scandalous, I imagine.
First answer. A. Erica from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was accused of embezzling $2 million from flight crash victims with her lawyer husband.
Okay.
B. Jen from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was charged with conspiring to commit wire fraud and money laundering from her telemarketing company. C. Shannon from the Real Housewives of the OC was charged with market manipulation with her stockbroker husband. And D. Teresa from the Real Housewives of New Jersey was charged with tax fraud and served prison time, and her now ex-husband was deported to Italy.
Oh, this is so easy.
Is it?
No. Most of what you just said was gibberish. I'm going to go with the Salt Lake girl. I think that was B.
So you think that one's the non-true one?
Yes.
And you are wrong, but to be fair, I thought you would get it wrong.
Your trivia was almost 2 truths and a lie, really.
Yeah, it's 3 truths and a lie, I guess. Yeah. So the following are true. Erica from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was accused of the $2 million embezzling against flight crash victims. I think the charges were dismissed on her specifically, but her husband, her old ass husband lawyer, it's not going to go away for him. The B one that you chose, Jen from the Real Housewives with her money laundering through her telemarketing company, that is like the newest drama, and that one is true.
I like that one. What a great way to scam people.
Yeah. The other one that is true was D, Teresa. That was a really, really, really popular one. I didn't know if maybe you had heard of that because it was a pretty big deal. Her husband got deported to Italy. They had like 5 daughters and both of them had to serve prison time at different times.
Weird.
And it was a whole thing. But the correct answer, Shannon from the Real Housewives of OC, did not have a stockbroker husband and did not commit market manipulation. I made that one up.
And what she really did was murder somebody, right?
She murdered someone, yeah.
I just really figured he'd be like, well, good for Shannon. And he'd be like, oh, but she did kill somebody.
No, Shannon is a bit emotionally unstable, but no, she hasn't done any major crimes that I'm aware of at this moment.
She's just good at not getting caught.
Yeah, there's a lot of true crime scandals with those women, I'm telling you.
Man, there should just be like a docuseries about all of those.
There is. On Hulu, there is a documentary where it's just like an episode for each situation. But there's one about Erica and her lawyer husband. There's one about Jen and her telemarketing thing. There isn't one about Teresa. That one's kind of old. That one happened a while back. But you should watch them. I'm telling you. It's like, how the hell?
I'd probably find that more interesting than the actual show.
Yeah, you would. You would. They're good.
Well, that was great. A good trip down memory lane for you.
I know. I'm like so passionate, and you're like, what the fuck ever.
Yeah, I like some reality shows, but those aren't for me.
I love them.
Okay, so mine, well, it's about medieval times.
Okay.
The medieval art called drolleries were known for depicting what? Is it A, God as a bloodthirsty woman? B, rabbits brutally murdering humans? Or C, living people lying in graves with their relatives' bones?
What in the hell? So this is an artwork?
It's an art style. It was a thing that they were making a lot of.
And what is the word called again?
Drolleries. Yeah, it's DROLLERIES.
Well, I don't know if this answer that I'm about to give is going to be correct, but because of your dreadful dilemma at the beginning of the episode, I'm going to go with the bunnies attacking people brutally.
And you're right.
I am?
You are.
Wow. I didn't think I was going to be.
So they came up with this thing called drolleries, which was like a little art awakening thing that the medieval people went through. And it basically is their way of the world upside down is what it was called, where it was like, hey, we're always hunting rabbits, so we're going to do art of rabbits hunting us.
Whoa.
You know, kind of like a true crime podcast doing, petty crimes, but making them sound serious. I don't know. But
who would do such a thing?
Yeah, they said this was a way to entertain the oppressed people who were kind of underneath like the kings and stuff. And it was kind of a way to say like, oh, we're the rabbits and we feel good about ourselves.
I love this.
So yeah, drolleries. And these are very cool. There's like rabbits like slitting men's throats and just doing a bunch of weird stuff.
Ooh, I can't wait to look these up.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
You see, this makes up for your really sad bunny story at the beginning because it's almost like the bunnies are getting the real revenge now.
Yeah, Rise of the Bunnies.
Love it. Oh, good. That was a great tie-in. Did you mean to do that?
Yeah, because I had a different one and Emily was like, that's too obvious. And I said, okay, I'll come up with a bunny one.
So good. Okay, well, shoot. We're on to stories, my friend.
It is time to tell a tale.
So this week, I have a very special and reminiscent story that was sent in to us by a dear friend of mine named Katie, who you also know, Trevin, and you like as well.
Oh, she's lovely.
For this story's purpose, I am going to keep Katie's brother's name correct in this story, which is Brandon. But I am going to change his friend's name to Nate just because I don't have his confirmation that that's okay to use his name.
Yeah.
And she said it sounded like he was pretty chill about me using the story and telling it, but I don't have confirmation. So we're just going to call him Nate just to be safe.
That's fair. We have a lot of listeners out there. They might complain.
Yeah. So I'm going to first tell you all this petty crime story to enjoy, and then I have a few things to say afterwards. So here we go. As creatures of the earth, human beings all have bodily functions that cannot be stopped. Yet for some reason, these very natural moments cause us to hide in shame and embarrassment. A children's book titled Everyone Poops even exists now, trying to stop the cycle of negativity surrounding shit before we grow up. On our show, there have been a plethora of times where we have discussed petty crimes that involve bodily functions. For example, the dollar store farter, the evil excreter, and the pooper intendant, just to name a few.
Oh, no.
This story is different than the others, as it comes out on the opposite side. Instead of a number 2 petty crime, we are about to go full-blown number 1. It was the year 2003. Gas was $1.83. The 5th Harry Potter book, Order of the Phoenix, came out, and DVR just became a popular household item.
Hey, do you want me to rewind it?
And watch the commercials again? No.
It was a good time. A more innocent time. Nate and Brandon were the best of friends. Now 21, they had been close ever since they were 14-year-old freshmen in high school. The two had been there for each other through nasty breakups, embarrassing makeups, and some really bad haircuts. But now here they were, practically grown-ups. Their story begins on a cool, crisp Saturday night in Columbia, Missouri. The University of Missouri, or Mizzou, had just crush-fucked the opposing football team on the field, ending the game in sheer victory.
And the home team wins!
Plus, Nate had just found out some great news. He got a C- in statistics class. So it only made sense that Nate and Brandon felt on top of the world and needed to go out to celebrate. The air was filled with tailgate food and ambition as the guys discussed where they would get their first drink of the night. They began their walk to one of the popular local bars in town. Their stroll started off on a high note as Nate and Brandon kicked a rock back and forth and whistled pleasantly into the night air. But the kicking and whistling came to a screeching halt as the friends approached the bar and saw the intensely long line of people waiting to get in. "There's just no way, man," said Nate desperately. "I gotta take a leak." The two friends looked at each other with understanding as Brandon agreed, "Yeah, me too." That is when Nate spotted the perfect location to solve all their bladder problems: a parking garage. The two walked inside of the dimly lit cement car cave, their footsteps echoing against the hard walls. "It's kind of creepy in here, but it'll do," said Nate as he unzipped his pants and stood between two compact cars. "Don't pee afraid of the dark," teased Brandon. "I'm gonna keep a lookout, then we can switch." As Nate's bladder emptied onto the cement floor, he could feel his shoulders begin to relax. With an empty bladder, any worries he had washed away, and the night was theirs to conquer. Nate finished his business and switched out with Brandon to keep a lookout. After Nate took a quick survey and found no one in sight, he turned towards Brandon and said, "Good to go," with full confidence. It was at this very moment that Nate saw a small shadow and heard some rustling just outside of the parking garage. As he abandoned his lookout post and turned the corner, it was there that he locked eyes with the figure responsible for the shadow. It was the most adorable squirrel Nate had ever witnessed.
"You are the cutest thing!"
Nate and the squirrel locked eyes as the little creature held a single nut in his tiny hands, and its nose began to wiggle up and down. It seemed like the eye contact lasted a lifetime before the squirrel let out an innocent squeak, almost as if it was saying, That is when Nate snapped back to reality and found himself far from his post and standing in the cool evening air, alone. He ran back to his post at the front of the parking garage, but it was too late. There he found Brandon being handcuffed by police for public urination.
"You're coming with me, pee-pee boy."
Brandon's usually happy and bright smiling face was quite the opposite once he saw Nate.
"I trusted you."
Luckily, Brandon was let go shortly after his brief incarceration. However, he was left with a pending fine and the vivid memory of his best friend abandoning him in a parking garage. This is a joke that the friends continue to laugh about over the years. Anytime Nate asked Brandon to watch his back, his loyal friend did so without hesitation. But he would also raise his eyebrow with an ornery grin and reply, "Good to go." It is such a shame that a normal bodily function, such as a number one, can turn into a petty crime once done in the public eye. Especially since it's so convenient and fun to do. I think this story is a great reminder to us all about the importance of both having and being a good lookout is. Because all it takes is one drop of pee in an officer's presence, and you're in trouble.
You have fun peeing?
You don't?
I mean, I don't get excited to do it, but maybe that's why it's called going wee.
I personally love peeing in public.
Oh, in public, okay.
Yeah, like I've peed in a McDonald's bush. I've peed in a parking garage. Okay, I should probably stop, incriminating myself on this show. But it's way easier for guys to do it. If I was a guy, I would pee everywhere in public all the time.
Oh, I'm peeing right now.
Travis!
Look out.
Put that thing away. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, I find it to be really fun. I guess maybe not everyone does.
Yeah, I mean, it is handy. And when you're in a sticky situation and you need to go, I mean, it is easy to do when you're a guy.
Yeah. So I really can't blame them for committing this crime whatsoever. Also, I do have a few things about the story that I want to clarify. So, this story was actually originally written by the friend that I am calling Nate. I did get the majority of details from his story that he wrote in a book, actually. But there were a few quotes and details that I did take from his story because they were just too good. Like, he specifically wrote down the night air smelled like tailgate food and ambition.
Nice.
So I used a couple things, but I still made it like my own rendition, of course. The only things that I added to the story were the dialogue between the guys. And then also, he never specifically said what caused him to be distracted and leave his post. He just said that he was like a dog drawn to a squirrel. And so it's like, I'm going to take that literally and make that the literal reason why he got distracted. But everything about the crime was completely 100% true other than those details.
Dang, I feel like the whole good to go thing is like, oh, we make a joke that's like, oh, we say good to go, and I know he's got my back. I'd be like, wait a minute, you kind of failed that one time. I'm not so sure.
I know. It would be really hard to be like, can I pee here? Well, and he probably never peed in public again, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like I'd be like, are we good to go though, bro?
Yeah, can we phone a friend? I need somebody to watch you watching.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought that was a really, really fun story. I do have a few other things that I was going to say about this story also, more specifically about Katie's brother. So it is actually a very unfortunate and sad situation that her brother did. He passed away far too soon. He was really young.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to read directly from the website, brfoundation.org, in his memory. And then I have a race that I want to tell everyone about that they do every year that's really, really, really fun. And it's for a good cause. So this is directly from the brfoundation.org website. If you guys want to learn more about the foundation that they created for Katie's brother, Brandon. So it says on here, Brandon Lee Russell, 34, of North Kansas City, passed away April 8th of 2017. His life ended way too soon doing one of the things he loved most, running as he finished the Rock the Parkway half marathon. 6 weeks later, the Brandon Russell Memorial Foundation held its first event, the Flash Dash. Inspiration for the name came from Brandon's favorite comic book hero, The Flash. Brandon had a zest for life and was a best friend to everyone. Family and friends were very important to him. He also enjoyed reading and was a movie buff. Sounds like you guys would have had a lot in common with The Flash and movies and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He was very charismatic, witty, and his personality was contagious. To carry on his legacy, the Brandon Russell Memorial Foundation was created by family and friends. So it's a really, really good cause. Also, just a little bit about the Flash Dash itself. It will be taking place Saturday, May 21st. So this comes out on May the 4th. So if anyone is in the Kansas City area and you want to do a run, or they even also have a walk, and they also have a kids race, which is really, really cute. They give all the kids little Flash capes to wear and stuff. And Lila did it last year, even though she kind of like cried in the middle of it and Jordan had to run with her. But it's just such a great, great time. I remember it's very positive. Everyone's so happy to be there every year. It usually rains every year, but people still run and have a ball. Or if you want to donate to the foundation, they do so many good things for the Children's Mercy Hospital here in Kansas City. And we'll put all the information to find everything in the show notes. But I figured since Katie is sharing this amazing petty crime story with us with her brother, the least we could do is continue on his memory and share the foundation and the race with you guys. So there you have it.
It's nice to be able to help spread the word on positive, nice things like that.
Yeah. So check it out.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time for me to do a petty crime.
I'm ready.
And mine will not be listener, will not be personal. We're going back to the news.
I'm so ready for this, Trevin. You have no idea.
This story is about one of those bad guys. One of those bad friends. And let's just make a promise to ourselves before I even say a word that we won't be like this guy.
Okay, I won't.
Okay. So here we go. One of the hardest things a person can ever do is be a part of a team. At least, a part of a team that achieves something that you care about. I'm sure when you first heard me begin to speak, you were expecting something a little more relatable. But bear with me here. When you work side by side with another person or people to achieve a desired outcome, it can be very stressful. We all have our own ideas and visions for what we want, but we also have to think about the other person's views and feelings within the project.
Man, not fair.
These collaborations can cause a lot of turmoil for all of the parties involved. Whether you're working together to build an IKEA table, raising a child,
Look, I drew a mustache on the baby.
or trying to make it in an independent garage band, you've had these kinds of interactions.
We can't have a guitar solo in every song.
You may have an eye for efficiency, wanting to get down to business, while your partner may also find it important that every part of the process be ethically sustainable.
Is that mouse pad all organic?
Compromises must be made if you wish to be successful.
Fuck, okay, I'll buy the $40 mouse pad.
In most of these situations, the final product comes out different from what each party had envisioned in the beginning. But that's the part of a group effort. The hope when starting out one of these partnerships is that everyone can be happy and the vision become a reality. But there are so many of these times where the dream slowly fades to black and becomes a nightmare for everyone. The passion for the project is gone, and the team is more of enemies coexisting than colleagues working in harmony.
Your family better watch their back, partner.
For me, one very important alliance that I've struggled with is romantic relationships. Maybe not your first thought when talking about achieving goals, but a relationship really is the same as any of the other examples. Two people come together to build a life, each with their own ideas and expectations for how they expect it to go. One partner may expect back rubs every night and to be treated like royalty,
This back isn't gonna rub itself.
while the other may just want to be a unit that thrives on each's own individuality. This is why communication is so key in making a relationship work. The more you know one's designed path for the future, the more the other can decide if that path can also lead to their dream destination. It took me many years to realize how important that communication is, instead of just being a dead fish that goes with the flow. It can lead to a lot of arguments and two people ending on bad terms, just because they couldn't work together.
I hate you.
But this isn't Trevin's relationship talks. This is a petty crime story. And petty it will get. Today's story chronicles one very important partnership and shows just how wrong it can all go if two people can't make a compromise. John Jacob was a shiesty con man living in Ghana, Africa. He loved finding new ways to make money and generally didn't care how he did it.
Give me your purse.
At the end of the day, money was the only thing that mattered. But John was having himself a bit of a dry spell. It was 2020, and the COVID-19 pandemic had seriously slowed down John's normal tricks and cons. It was harder to rob people or trick them into giving you their information if there were no people out and about to scam.
Come on out, I promise I won't rob you.
John's income had dropped significantly, as he was forced to live modestly off of tricks that could only be pulled off over the internet. From his home office, John would work remotely, sending out Nigerian prince emails and catfishing any men who would believe Halle Berry would swipe right on them.
Give me $10 and I'll play with your swordfish.
Although these are the classic staples of the scammer trade, it just wasn't bringing in the cash that it did in the early days of the internet. Younger Americans are getting worse education, not even knowing Nigeria is a place, while older people are getting smarter on the dangers of phishing emails.
Ha! There's no sexy singles wanting to talk to me.
In a defeated state, John would always reach out to his old friend Ruff for support. Ruff and John had a lot in common. Also being from Ghana and loving to make his wages at the expenses of others, the two would often swap tips and tricks on how to create new victims out of the unsuspecting public. Years ago, Ruff had left Ghana to live in America. Now residing in Chicago, Illinois, he had become a close yet long-distance friend to John. Wiping his tears away before typing into his instant messenger, John wrote, "Hey Ruff, I'm having a hard time turning tricks. How are things in America?" In no time, the typing bubbles popped up, followed by an all-caps message that said, "Bro! Everything is perfect here. STEMI checks and unemployment be #rollin'. All you have to do is have an identity, and you can get some money here." John wasn't sure whether to be inspired or jealous. He wanted unemployment money. He wanted STEMI checks. He wanted to use hashtags in text messages. He knew that with the information from Ruff, he could get way more than what he was getting. After all, he was voted most likely to scam a foreign government out of big money in their graduating crime class. Not Ruff. With his pride aside, John laid out a plan to Ruff. He explained that with Americans' identities supplied by Ruff, he could file for unemployment in every state and gain 50 times the profits that Ruff was getting per identity. It was foolproof, and it would pay big money. "Let's fucking rage," Ruff replied back, followed by a separate text that read, #champagne on yachts. It took little convincing from John, as the American culture had already sunk its teeth deep into Ruff. He was on a quest for big bucks, music video-esque women, and likes on Instagram. Sealing the deal with a gif of two people high-fiving, a partnership was formed.
Yeah!
Together, these two men were going to exploit the COVID-19 crisis and split it 50-50. In no time, stolen identities started to pour into John's emails. Heather Barton, Susie Butts, Dick Wangsman. No American was safe. Each one would have their information filed through all 50 states as unemployed by John. In an appropriate amount of time, checks began to fill Ruff's United States postal mailbox.
Whoa, this guy gets a lot of mail.
It was like a montage scene in any movie where people hit an influx of cash. John was smoking fat cigars and violently tapping away at keys,
Yes, yeah.
while Ruff was jumping into large piles of cash on his bed and rolling around in the green paper.
Nothing can go wrong now.
In a matter of months, the two had made upwards of $9 million. John stopped buying off-brand toilet paper and was now feeling confident enough to use hashtags in casual texts. "Yo, Rough Rider, we are really making it happen. #big boat for days," John sent Ruff. "Yeah, bro, it's crazy. Your plan really worked. We are living the dream, King," Ruff responded. After the two exchanged very exaggerated bro pleasantries, it was time for John to get down to brass tacks. "All right, we've made a lot of money, and we can see that this is clearly working," John sent. "It is time to discuss how we are going to wire my half of the $9 million. Ruff's messenger bubble dots popped up and began to bounce. John watched for 2 minutes straight as they bounced, until they eventually disappeared. Slightly confused, John began to type out another message before Ruff's dots popped up and began to bounce again. John quickly backspaced his partial message and chose to wait again.
Oh shit.
As John cleared his message, Ruff's bubble dots also disappeared. "Maybe it's a connection issue," John said to himself. 2 days had passed, as John was starting to believe that maybe it wasn't a connection problem. Beginning to panic, John picked up his phone and dialed Ruff's number. Halfway through the second ring, it stopped abruptly, as the woman's voice came on, explaining that Ruff isn't available.
We're sorry, but you're being avoided.
That's when it became obvious to John. Like Trevin after a promising date in his mid-20s, John had been ghosted. John couldn't believe it. Week after resentful week passed, as John had to cut down on his new cigar addiction and eventually return all of that name brand toilet paper.
Take it back, my ass isn't worthy.
There was a thorn in his side and a chafing in his butthole. This was not the way the partnership was supposed to play out. It was supposed to be 50-50. John had felt like the swindler who had been swindled. No longer did John care about his money. All he wanted was sweet, sweet revenge. In an instant, John opened up a new Google browser and went to yellowpages.com. In the search bar, he typed 3 letters: FBI. Hello, FBI. How may I help you? The woman on the other end answered. John began to tell the woman that he and Ruff had been stealing people's identities and getting away with filing unemployment scams across every state, totaling $9 or $10 million. The woman's tone began to get more and more confused as she asked John questions. You're not upset because you're scamming people? You're upset he hasn't given you your money? The woman hesitantly asked, just getting the facts straight. John did not understand what part of this the woman wasn't getting. He explained again that he should have received 50% of $9 or $10 million, and what Ruff did was wrong.
It's not rocket science.
He kindly asked the FBI to go and arrest Ruff for this injustice. The FBI agent reiterated that the two of them stole good people's money, and that was wrong. To which John replied that he is sorry for that. But what Ruff did was worse. Even after the woman told John that he was incriminating himself by making this phone call, John remained steadfast in his decision. I don't care what happens to me. Ruff needs to answer for what he did, John said. The FBI agent thanked John for the information and said they would be looking into the matter. She also said they may reach out if they need any more information. In the early part of 2021, the Federal Bureau of Investigations received a call from a man in Ghana stating that he and another man from Illinois had been scamming the US government out of millions of dollars during the COVID-19 pandemic. Although this call could have came off as an admission of guilt, the purpose of the call was simply because his partner was not splitting the income 50-50. Giving the obviously fake name of John Jacob, the man remained on the call for nearly 9 minutes, giving the home address, phone number, and proper spelling of the name of his partner in crime. By the time the call of John was made public online, it was already found that Ruff Awuni had been arrested in connection with the unemployment scams. It has also been made public that homes in Ghana have been raided in connection to the scams. No names have been released in those arrests, but we can only assume that one of these people was John Jacob, the twisted tattletale. We've been through a real journey here. We've tackled a crime that spanned from Africa throughout all of America. Yes, the crime has technically valued itself out of the petty crime range, but I'm choosing to focus on the petty side of things here. What kind of partner would keep the spoils from someone so pivotal in their large influx of wealth? And what kind of person would turn themselves in just to teach that person a lesson? It sounds to me that maybe these two had their own issues that they needed to sort out before even considering working with another person. Hopefully they can take this newfound knowledge with them for their time in prison. I would hate to see the consequences of purposely sabotaging a team sport like basketball while enjoying recreation time in the yard.
You better watch your ass in the showers.
Perhaps a sport more like horseshoes would be more fit for their rebellious ways.
Please tell me that those are exact quotes from their texts.
No, the texts are made up.
Ah, damn it. They're so good.
But his quotes to the FBI lady are true.
Wow. So they both got caught in the end?
Well, we don't really know because I don't know who John Jacob really was, but there were homes in Ghana that were raided.
Okay.
So it's safe to assume that the guy who made the call probably got arrested. I mean, I would say 9 minutes on with the FBI, you were probably traced anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Ruff got arrested for sure. I mean, that guy gave his straight up home address and everything.
Damn. Whoo. I mean, that like really freaks me the hell out that they made that much money off of that too.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems like it's not easy because, like, even when he's talking to the lady, he was like, yeah, we were scamming the U.S. government out of this money. And she's like, how? And he was like, oh, I was just taking people's identities and filing for unemployment in every state. The FBI lady was like, how? Like, even the FBI lady is like, that's not that easy to take advantage of.
Yeah. I mean, there was a very short time where my husband Jordan had to file unemployment at the very beginning of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a lot of hoops he had to jump through to even do it in the one state that he worked in.
Yeah.
And a lot of the states were like so backed up that like some people couldn't even apply because they had to just sit on the phone for like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Mm-hmm.
Every day they couldn't get through. So I'm like, damn, dude, like this is pretty impressive. Like, what do you mean?
And most likely this was probably going on for at least 3 to 4 months. So you're talking 50 states per person, once a month. Yeah, I'm sure they made fat money. I don't know how the hell they did it, but they did it.
Wow. I mean, I'd be really pissed off if I was the one doing all the work for an assignment and then I didn't get the A+ at the end.
Yeah. He just wanted his credit, man.
I mean, I get it. But also, like you said, he's turning himself into the FBI.
The lady was just like, okay, so you're saying what he did is wrong, but you're taking good people's money. That's wrong. And he's like, yeah, I am sorry about that. But, and he was just like really one-track minded. And at one point, she even said, you're incriminating yourself in the situation. And he's like, I don't care what happens to me. Like, this guy fucked me. And he's like, he was just like, I don't give a shit. This guy's going down.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand. Maybe he was a guy who just like everything kept going wrong for him. And he was just like, I'm taking you down with me because I cannot believe that another bad luck hit me.
Yeah.
But either way,
splitting $9 million, I mean, that's $4.5 million. Like, that's not a small amount. So he's probably like very pissed and maybe very illogical.
I imagine he seems pretty illogical. The whole video is ridiculous. Like, it really is like a 9-minute video of this guy just like, you would think there would be a point because I've seen things like that where somebody goes to call in to tell on somebody and the FBI starts asking me questions and they're just like, and they just hang up or something.
Yeah.
No, this guy really was just like, I'll spell it for you. You want his home address? Here's his cell phone number. Like, he was just everything.
Oh my God. I love that he chose the name John Jacob.
Yeah.
I thought, are you going to say Jingleheimer Schmidt afterwards?
Yeah, you could, I mean,
oh my God.
I don't want to say the guy couldn't have that name, but he had a very thick African accent. I just really doubt it's John Jacob.
No, that's not common. I feel like that's not common anywhere. John and Jacob, those are both first names.
Yeah, that's a firsty.
Yeah. Wow. That was a wild ride.
Yeah, and it was so big too. That's why I was like, I almost don't want to do it. But really the petty thing is just turning yourself in, calling, hey, FBI, arrest this man. I don't like him.
No, I've done that too, kind of with the sour grapes story that I did. That was a shit ton of money that they were dealing with, but it was so petty to me how he did his operation and everything. So I totally get it. There's going to be stories like that sometimes where it's like, okay, technically, if you look up the definition of petty crime, this wouldn't fall under it, but the criminals themselves are so petty.
Yeah, I think most of our listeners can suspend their disbelief. I mean, there's plenty of stories that we do that aren't crimes at all. They're just petty. So
Yeah.
let us have our fun in our sandbox.
Yeah, damn it. Well, that was so great. Oh my gosh. Good job. And this has been another great week, I'd say.
Yeah, connection seems pretty obvious. It's basically just like partnerships.
Partnerships failing.
Yeah.
One partner leaving the other one hanging in their time of need.
Yeah.
I mean, that pretty much sums that up. That's a good connection, though. That's a really strong one. We've had a lot of connections.
Yeah.
With bunnies and friendship.
Bunnies and friendships.
This doesn't sound like a true crime podcast anymore.
No.
Oh, man. Well, at this time, this will be my past self coming through the speakers. Like I said last week, I will have had a baby by now, so that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to try and keep going as long as I can, hoping maybe we can get another recording in here before. We will see. But I love you all regardless.
Yes, if next week starts without Amanda, I will give you a disclaimer of why. I don't think it'll be too much of I don't think you need much of a reason, but I can give you one. And
just prepare the people.
Yeah, if not, hopefully we'll get at least one more in with her.
Yeah, well, just remember, everyone, no matter the crime, big or small, in the end, we're all doomed.
Doomed and looking before we pee.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Seriously Sinister.
If you have a true petty crime story to share, please email us at seriouslysinisterpodcast@gmail.com or send us a Facebook message.
If you would like to support our show, please subscribe and leave us a 5-star review.
Also, tell your friends about this podcast.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Seriously Sinister Podcast.
And on Twitter at SeriouslySinPod.
Shout out to Trevin for writing all of the original music you hear and for producing our show. Follow him and his music at Fiesta Maiden on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Facebook.
And credit to Miranda Lucas for our awesome logo. You can find her on Instagram at MirandaLucas26.
All stories are written by myself and Trevin, and all stories are based on actual, true petty crimes.
And sorry, the tea bag somehow fell out and got on this blanket, so I put it right there. Is that okay?
That's totally okay. Thanks for teabagging my blanket.
So sorry, Blanky. Okay.